G'day folks, and welcome to Gormo's Shed. Well, just recently I had a request to show my manual point control system working, so I thought I'd cover that in this little session here. It's quite difficult to film this, and I don't really know what aspect of it is interesting, but there's a bit to it. There's a lot under the baseboard which would have to be filmed, so I'll do my best to see how it comes up, and hopefully that will sort of give you an idea of how it works. Now I suppose the first thing to look at with these is where they're located, and I have all mine just below, or under the baseboard actually here. That's directly under the, mounted directly under the baseboard top. And the reason I've done that is to allow me to have little rocker arms which are directly behind each lever, which will transfer the movement back again behind the box here, directly along underneath the baseboard top to the points. So that allows me to fit little guides and everything up under the baseboard top to handle the rods that are connected to these things. Now to operate these things, it's simply it works on friction to hold the point in place. These levers are fairly stiff, so when you pull it like that, it will just stay there and will hold the point because there's a certain amount of friction on this lever. And when they were all put together, if you've seen my video about manual point control, you'll see that there's little nuts between each one to tighten them up, and I've got them all about the same feel. So you can move this as slowly or as quickly as you like, but I would say gently, and I wouldn't say quickly. So we just, treat it with a bit of respect, but that's all there is to it. You just simply move it backwards and forwards like that, and I'll try and show you what's going on under the baseboard as I do this, and that's the tricky part we're going to try now, so we'll have a look. Right folks, we're looking up underneath the box now at the back of it, and you can see up here these are the rocker arms that I was talking about. They transfer the movement from the bottom of the lever, which is here. I'm trying to work backwards here folks, it's very difficult. The bottom of the lever is here on the outside, and that transfers the movement to the rocker arm, which moves up here and connects to a rod which actually connects up to the points. So these things, as you pull the lever, they move an equal amount, the same amount of movement as the lever on the front. So that's how that works. Now as I pull the lever, it moves the rocker arm, and the rocker arm transfers the movement to a rod, which will then transfer it to one of these bell cranks, so that the force or the movement can change direction. So this is number 7 that I'm working here, and you can see it's got 2 bell cranks connected to it. There's one on the left and there's one on the right, and I've also got a further one made out of a piece of Meccano just to change the direction of the thing. Now this goes over here to point number 7. Now you can see number 7 there, and the bell crank is moving the rod through the guides on the hinge there for number 7. The rod comes out the top left hand end there, does a 90-degree turn, and then another turn up through the baseboard itself to point number 7, which is actually a double slip. Now this is lever number 7 folks, and you can see the movement there. Number 7. Now there's more than one of these in a double slip, and the other one here is number 6, which is this one. Now you can see the pin from the rods underneath that's come up through into the tie bar there. That's number 6. I've also got micro switches attached to or next to the rods or the bell cranks underneath the system. The micro switch can play two roles, and you can use more than one micro switch, but you can change frog polarity, or you can use it to run two indicators on your operating panel. So these levers are colour coded, folks, to suit my own colour coding system on my railway. I mean, I have blue and red are mainline tracks, and orange is a branch line. So they're particular to those particular lines. To dress up the box a bit, I did a track plan and fitted it in, and the idea is that you're in the signal box, and even got the cat sitting there on the shelf looking out the window, just to make it look a bit better, that's all. So that's Great Chesterford East, and then we move across to the other side here, because it's difficult to run very long lengths of the rod, so you've got to sort of break the whole system up into workable areas. So this is Great Chesterford Yard signal box, and the yard is also working, as you can see, one of the branch line points, which is up the far end of the station platform. That's number 19, which is directly opposite this actual lever. So this is where the branch trains terminate here, and so this is the point for them to do the runaround. So that just moves quite simply that way and that way. Dead easy. And then from there we move to the right again and around to Great Chesterford West signal box. And Great Chesterford West operates the right hand side of the station platforms and some of the points in the yard. So they're all numbered there. I've got a numbering system on here. I remember them all now, which one does what, but it's good to know which point you're activating. So it's just a simple numbering system there, and I've got the corresponding numbers underneath the board on the brass hinges, so I know which point to aim for when I get under there. It can get quite confusing when you're looking underneath the board, because everything's upside down and sort of back to front in a way. But as you can see here, these I've got a red, two blues and the greens. The green refers to the yard. The red is the only point on that particular main line down this end, and there's two for, that's a double slip actually, those two, to get out onto the main line from the yard. Because I haven't got a fascia on here, you can see how the box is actually fitted up under the baseboard top. It's directly underneath it. And possibly we can get an even better view if I go around the back of this one. There we are. You can see how the rods have been adapted in certain ways, and there's the rocker arms as well. So if I move that point which is closest to the camera, you can see the rocker arm moving. It's quite a gentle motion. And then the one next to it, so if we then go up to that one on the main line, which is this one here, you can see that moving. Now I had to get a bit creative with this one. The connections weren't quite working out. There were timbers and stuff in the way, so what I've done is I've come up through the baseboard top here and treated this like, I've got the brass hinge under there, so I've treated this section here like it was the actual point, and then I've just put a wire cable through some cable here which runs under the track to the point here. So you can see the movement. If we can do it, let's see, where are we? That's where it's happening. So a little shed or something will just go over this bit here, and that runs all the way across to this point here. Simple. When you've got this room in darkness almost, set up for nighttime running, you need to be able to see your levers. So I've put some strips of LEDs up underneath there. That works out quite well. Each box has its own lighting. So we'll go around to this one here. So there's lighting up under there. Looks like that one could be stuck on a bit better actually. And same up under here. So there we are. And they, as soon as you turn the lighting switch on, they come on. Yeah, very important to know which points you need to change when you're working in almost darkness. You really need to plan out every single point and the run of the rods so that they don't get in each other's way. You can see it's quite complex under here, and now that's further complicated with wires and all that sort of thing, and some of the stuff I can't actually get at too easily now because I've got a drawer in the way, but the drawer comes out, so, and it's a bit hard to film under here, but yeah, that's the basic flow of it. You can see how the some of the point rodding branches off early to find its particular point on the top of the board there. Yeah, and you can see if I go up here, see the little red wheel, which is a micro switch. Now when number 10 gets activated, that rod coming out of number 10 will move to that little red wheel and activate the micro switch. So number 10 is actually a live frog point, and so the micro switch is setting up the frog for the correct position of the point blades. As I mentioned, each point has a number, so you can see we go 1 to 10 there, we're going 11 to 19 there, and we're going 20 to 25 here. Let's put that one back. So I've got 25, in effect, a replacement system here for 25 point motors. So I've saved myself quite a lot of money by doing it this way. It's a hell of a lot of work, but it's been extremely reliable, and yeah, it's got a nice feel to it. So that's it, folks. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope that answers some of your questions. Cheers, Gormo.